What is your name?
Steve Sheck.
And who are you?
Along with my late wife Joyce, founder of Parents Challenge 25 years ago. Joyce and I started Parents Challenge because we were aware of the terrible performance of students across the board, but mostly minority students. We simply wanted to give parents control over their kids' education, and we believed that by giving parents control and power, that ultimately the system would have to adjust to their wishes and needs and wants.
Both my kids have gone through a lot personally because of some family situations, with my father passing away, my mom moving in with us, their dad being unstable.
I honestly didn't expect to come into this program thinking that you would care about my feelings like that.
If we don't do something now to improve the education system, we're going to continue to go downhill.
When I was younger, I had a really low GPA and my grades were really sliding, and I would get called into my teacher's office all the time. Now, here I am, a junior. My GPA is above a 4.0. I have all straight A's and I'm not failing anymore.
Why is Parents Challenge important to you?
It's just helped me a lot in school with brain training, and yeah, it's just really helpful.
Through the advocacy and through even the resources and some of the classes that we took through Parents Challenge, we were we need to move her somewhere where she can have what she needs to thrive in her education. And even get a little emotional. She's in middle school now and she's excelling in cross country, and it's been Parents Challenge that has provided some of the financial help to provide simple things like the shoes that allow her to run in cross country.
It helps me realize that I should strive for success if I put in the work and everything and have a community to help me, then I can achieve anything.
Without Parents Challenge, I wouldn't have been able to go into the schools that I did, and without that, I wouldn't be able to have a really good education and meet the friends that I have now.
I'm gonna add, y'all have some good food too.
Yeah! Parents Challenge really was an opportunity for us as parents to really advocate for our children. They started at a charter school, and they went to public, and then now we've been homeschooling for the last, I want to say maybe 5 years now.
I like Parents Challenge because we learn stuff, and we also have fun while doing it.
The people that they have involved in the organization are truly amazing individuals who want to help. Because of Parents Challenge, I was able to connect with somebody who's a part of Parents Challenge to get a full ride scholarship. To me, Parents Challenge is more than a resource. It's a family that'll always support you through thick or thin, that'll guide you, support you, and encourage you along the way.
I am so excited about where Parents Challenge is today. I never thought we'd be here 11 years later, but we have gone from 12 families, 28 scholars, to this year we'll have over 200 parents, over 400 scholars, and we're also expanding the first time in our history to Pueblo County, to Teller County, to the eastern part of El Paso County. That is so exciting to me.
When we started Parents Challenge, our focus was on choice. Our focus was also on the parents having the ability to make that choice. Because who knows the kid better than the parent?
Choice means that I can determine what's in my best interest. So as we think about choice, people choose what type of cars they want. They choose what grocery stores they shop at. They choose what type of beverages they want to drink. So why shouldn't we have just as much choice in the type of education that our children attend?
Happy 25th Anniversary Parents Challenge.
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 Happy 25th Anniversary.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. It's already on.
Hello.
Yeah, 25 years, yeah? Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We're excited. It is National School Choice Week. Oh, okay, it's National School Choice Week.
So we know that it's kind of warm in here, just a little bit, maybe for some of you. But we need you to put those scarves around your neck. We didn't put one at every chair, but we do have some extras. But we're going to be taking tons of pictures and sending them to our partners for National School Choice Awareness Foundation in preparation for National School Choice Week. And we'd like a picture that has tons of scarves on it. So.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to grab a picture once we're done talking. We'll have our amazing videographer/photographer, Zay, here, who filmed that amazing video, come and do that. But before we get started, we want to introduce you to our team because we've had a couple changes. So I am Kat.
I'm Deborah.
And then we'd like to welcome Aaron and Abby Celine to the stage, please.
So this is our mighty team of 4, and we support all of you. 4, and we support all of you.
Yes.
Okay. So that means you need to be nice to us, because it's only 4 of us. Okay?
Grace, if I don't respond in 48 hours, I promise I will get back. But look around at you, and then up here at us. So. All right, well, on top of our mighty team of 4, we also have the support of our amazing parent coordinators. I'm just going to have them come to the stage real quick. Shout out to these ladies. They hate every time I make them do this. But our parent coordinators, this is our first line of defense. We are so grateful because not only do they help support all of you and making sure you get your program requirements done and that you're up to date and supported, they also are in the program making sure that they get their own stuff done for their families. So we just want to give them a big round of applause, please. Okay, you guys go. You're good. Yes. Thank you, ladies. All right, so tonight, we just have a few housekeeping things to go over with you guys. You know, being intentional, accountable, having grace. We're gonna talk about all of them, so.
So this is our TV program, and we're gonna do a little bit of true and false. And if you know the answers, just say true or false when we bring it up on the screen. So, first question, does Parents Challenge support parental choice in education? All right. Does Parents Challenge provide information and resources? Excellent. Is being in Parents Challenge a choice? All right, because you don't have to be in the organization. We want you to be. Are Parents Challenge empowerment sessions open to the public?
That is true.
They are true. So
Anybody
even
can
if
come.
you're not in Parents Challenge, you can come to these sessions. So you don't have to be in Parents Challenge to come to these sessions. They are free to the public. Okay. All right.
All right.
Can all Parents Challenge information be found
in the parent guide? Oh, good. I was worried. Does the parent agreement clearly state the responsibilities and requirements to be in Parents Challenge? Oh, good. All right. Guys are acing this. Our Parents Challenge staff and coordinators responsible for you attending sessions. All right, good. I was really holding my breath on that one. Are the staff and the coordinators responsible for you to complete your parent-student journal, turn in your report cards on deadline? Okay, all right. Love this, love this. Okay, our students who are receiving a C or below a C in core classes, which we have deemed math, science, language arts. If your kid is failing Latin, it's a dead language. I don't know what to tell you. But are they responsible? Are they going to be put in the academic success program? Absolutely. If you did not know the answer to that, it is on the parent agreement you signed. And like I stated at the mandatory orientation, please read before you sign so you are aware.
It's in your program guide.
So that brings me to this. Are you about to be a Tide Pod eater? Because here's the tea. Some of you have put the Tide Pod in your mouth, but you haven't bit down yet. Please don't bite down. Bite down, that's death. Don't do that. We want you to take the Tide Pod out of your mouth, put it back in the thing, and walk away from it. Because we are going to read our guide. We are going to read our master schedule that has all the dates, all the due dates, all the schedule dates. Because if you don't, I can't do it for you. And there are a lot of you and only one of me. So please don't be a Tide Pod eater. Please, please, please. But if you do, then we're in agreement that you will be disqualified. I didn't kick you out. I didn't force you to do or not to do anything. That is a choice that you are making. So choose to take the Tide Pod out of your mouth. All right.
So we will say that 100% of you in this room maybe got 90% of our television answers correct. But we want to make sure that 100% get those answers all the time. And in order to do that, again, we all have to be intentional about what we are doing. So the QR code that's on the table, if you have not scanned that, please do so, because that is the welcome flyer for tonight's session. And there's some other documents in there that we would like to make known to you. One is that those of you that are planning to come to the school fair on on Saturday, please register. We have over 700 people that have registered so far to attend the event. It's going to be at the Colorado Springs Event Center. And if you register, we just know that you're there. We've got people that are in line looking for seats. If your table is not full and you have seats, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand at your table if you've got seats available so that those that are looking for seats can find a seat. Thank you. Also, in that flyer, there is the fall intentional document. That was a document that was created for you to look at. What sessions are you planning to go to? And are you being intentional about those sessions so that they are in alignment with whatever the goals and direction and vision that you have for your kids and for yourself, so that you're just not doing, let me just check the box. I went to my sessions, I'm done. Okay, what's next? We now also have the spring intentional document that's in there. And Dr. Lewis spent time helping us to create this for the purpose of helping families, again, do things with intentionality. Do things that are going to be in alignment with what's going to meet your goals and expectations. So please take the time to look at that document, take the time to use it, and then pick the sessions that are going to best meet your expectations. Then you don't have to worry about just taking anything. We have lots of sessions that are available to you. This year, 45 sessions were created based on those who attended the focus groups. And I think we have 20-something this semester, both in person and virtual. So please, parents, take the time. Some of the sessions are just for you. Some of the sessions are for your scholars. And then some of them are a combination of both. Take the time to decide what's in your best interest. Even the platinum families. Platinum families aren't required to take a ton of sessions, but there still might be sessions in there that maybe your scholars can benefit from. So please use those documents for the benefit of supporting you, because that's why we created them.
Just a few other things. There is the core purpose track that is coming up starting February 3rd. Right now we only have 4 families signed up. We need at least 7 to 10 to sign up for us to keep that session, because just 4 is not enough for that. So please sign up for that. It's 8-week commitment, but it is really worth it. Those who've gone through it have really enjoyed it. Also, we communicate through band. Monday updates have things that you need. If your notifications are not on, that is a choice that you are making. But if you miss things, that is on you. I sent out invitations for those who are in the Academic Success Program this semester. Please check your band for that, because you don't want to miss things. You don't want to miss what's coming up, because again, it's about accountability, and there is grace when there's communication, and that's really what we want from you guys. If things are happening, if life is happening, completely understand, but you have to communicate with us before we have to reach out to you. If we're reaching out to you, it's too late. So communicate with us. There is grace, but there is also accountability within that. And so please be intentional in being in this program, because again, the choice is yours. You don't have to be here, and that's okay. We have a wait list. So, all right.
Well, Mr. Steve Shuck has arrived. Wave your hand, Steve. Without the Shucks, none of us would be here. So thank you, and thank you for being here. Also, I want to do a shout out to Mike Hausman, who is a major supporter of Parents Challenge. And again, without him, we wouldn't be here either. So thank you, Mike, for joining us this evening.
So before we have Dr. Lewis come up, Zay, can you come up and grab a group photo real quick? So this is the time. Wipe the barbecue sauce from your face, get your scarf on, get your smiles on, and we're going to get a group photo, and then we'll have Dr. Lewis and Dr. Major Charles come to the stage.
We'll have Doctor and Doctor come up on the stage.
Doctor squared.
Okay. All right, let's see those scarves, and let's see big smiles and all of that. Wave at the camera.
And smile.
Smile, wave.
Yeah, wave, yay. National School Choice Week.
National School Choice Week.
This is the most silent photo ever.
I know. All
right.
Thank you
guys
so much. And now, again, in your flyer, your welcome flyer, you see the bios of Dr. Regina Lewis and Dr. and Major Charles Lewis III. And they're going to come up and wow us for the next 90 minutes. We're so glad to have them here. So please come on up.
Wow. Well, first of all, these scarves look great. You have no idea what it looks like from my view here. But you know, as I was listening to both Kat and to Deborah, they said something really important. They were talking about intention. Dr. Geneva Gay says, intention without action is insufficient. And so everything that we do has to be with intention. So I started thinking about our children. What makes a great scholar? What makes a great citizen? There's only two things that I know of that actually helps that or makes that happen. It's either by luck or it's through intention. Many of you have heard my story. I've shared about my son. That was my signature. Every single time I've ever stood on any stage or have been behind any camera or been online, I've always mentioned my son Charles. And when I talk about him, of course, I'm a parent, so I'm going to talk about him as if he was the most magnificent thing that ever was created. I'm a parent, right? But here's the truth. The things that my son has achieved, it wasn't by luck. It was definitely by design. It was with intention. And so when you are taking classes, when you come to these events, don't just come because you have to. Don't come because, the topic sounds good. Always show up with intention. Always come with an idea in your head to figure out, why am I here? How will this positively impact myself and my child? And what will we do at that point? What will we do with that information? How can you take and apply it to yourself? So when I've shared my story, and I've shared it for over 33 years, oftentimes I would start out May 28th, 2014, 9 a.m. My son Charles graduated from the Air Force Academy. And I just go crazy and the people go crazy. Well, I have an update for all of you. July 4th, 2024, 10:16 p.m. My grandbaby, Charles Edward Lewis IV, was born. Oh, yeah. When this child was born, his mother, his father, myself, his grandfather, we already set up with the intention his life, because it starts at a very young age. And so when you want your child to be successful, it's a team effort. And you want something so that you start going into the direction together. That's where you have to begin with a vision. Your vision is something that you say, what is the first thing that I want us to achieve? And I say the first thing because you'll have a second, a third, a fourth, and it will continue throughout your life and your child's life. My vision with my son has not ended, and it will not end. It is something that will continue to grow over time. It is something that I make sure that it is something that is going to move us to the next step and then the next step, and we just keep going, because guess what? There's no end to the steps. It's always something else that you could do. So for my little grandbaby, I had this vision. The vision was about communication and connection. Because see, they don't live here in Colorado Springs. As a matter of fact, my son flew here to be here tonight. So with my grandbaby, I'm trying to figure out, okay, so how do I begin communicating? How can I make a connection? Because I want him to know who I am no matter where he's at. Now we started out, so Justin and I, my partner, we're his lollipops. I'm Lolly and he's Pops. So that's what he'll call us, possibly, right? And I'm like, that's a cute name, but is that enough to make the connection? So something amazing happened. This Christmas. I got this gift that was going to help me to make this vision happen. It's called a friendship light. And this is what took place. So on my bathroom counter, I have this light. And I get up in the morning and I will press it. And when I press it, then on the other end, I was hoping that he would catch on and he would press it too, because he has one. So it'll light up a color and then it'll show up on his side that same color and then he'll press it, right? So this is what I did.
Oh my goodness, thank you for pushing on the light. I'm gonna push it too. It's purple.
So I'm already starting. I'm telling him colors. I'm getting excited. I'm having him hear my voice, right? So these are the things that are taking place. And this is what took place on his end all the way in Ohio.
Your light lit up. You will go tap it? So Lolly knows that you saw it? Can you tap it? Nice.
It's amazing. It is amazing because now when I call and I'm FaceTiming him, he'll blow me a kiss. Mwah! And then he'll run over to his light and he'll press it. And I'm like, he's 18 months and he already knows to do that. That is powerful. That is the kind of thing that you want to start with your children or even begin. All of this is on purpose. There's so much that's going on around us. And I have asked people, oftentimes I'll look at the children and I'll say, so what are you going to change in this world? It used to be, what are you going to be when you grow up? And some people say, I don't know. And that's okay. But sometimes we can actually help them to see something. It could be a small something that helps them to build, to move one step closer to a goal. Children need to see what it is to reach a goal. But with everything around us, sometimes it's hard to get into focus. So let me tell you about it being in focus. You know, when you go to the doctors, how many of you have gone to the doctors to get your eyes checked, right? And it's really interesting because they've got all these lenses and you'll see stuff sitting in front of you, and we actually think that we see it clearly, wherein in fact we don't. We don't see it clear. Because when they start changing the lenses, all of a sudden it comes into view. That's the same thing that happens when you're working with your children now, or even working with your own life. It's important that you spend time and you start to think, what do I want in my life? What do I want next? And when you get there, never think that it's the end, because when you get to the top of the mountain, it only makes it easier to see the next summit. So Charles and I, we wanted to get to our goals. And I'm going to be talking about the goals. I'm going to talk about our pact. But ultimately, we got to a place where we started to see, can we get even further? Can we get further than just going to college? Just me getting my PhD. And then it started to come into view. And it was, we could both be doctors. And I remember the first time I mentioned that to Charles, and what did you say? He said, no, not me. But guess what? He's a doctor. It is something that sometimes our words can mean so much, and when said the right way, and when demonstrated, it really can. But it's with intention. If you don't have a goal in front of you first, it takes much longer to get there because you don't know where you're going. I want to kind of prove that to you. On your table is a pen and some paper. So I want everybody to get a pen and a piece of paper. And I'm going to give you some instructions, and I hope it works. So what I want you to do with this piece of paper once you get it is I want you to fold it in half. Like the short way. They say the short way is hamburger, the long way is hot dog. So we wanted the hamburger. Fold it in half. So basically, it's going to be folded like this. And the top edge, I want it to be away from you. So I want the open end towards you. Yep, just like that. Lay it down because you're going to draw on it. Now, without the person next to you really seeing, I want you to place a dot on that bottom edge, anywhere along that edge. Just a little dot, enough for the next person to be able to see it, but not right away. Right? So you don't want to go really hard, but you want to do that. And then I want you to turn it over so that they can't see it. Turn it over. And I want you to pass yours to the person to your right. So everybody will get, don't look at the dot, don't look on the other side, just pass it to the next person. Okay? So you should not be seeing their dot. If you see the dot, it's not going to work. But this is what I want you to do next. On that other side, I want you to draw from the edge, like from the open end all the way to the edge. I want you to draw a line. It can be a squiggly line, it could be a diagonal line, it could be a straight line, it could be whatever you want from the bottom of that opening to the top of the edge. However you want to draw it to go up there. Okay. Everybody got it? All right. Now, I want you to open it, and I want you to find the dot, and I want you from where you ended to that dot, I want you to draw the most direct line. The most direct line from there. So open it all the way up flat, and draw from one to the other. No, people are like, I think I blew it. So let me explain what we just did. So I do executive coaching, and I use this all the time. And here's what the point is. If you look and you see where you started, some of you went, squiggly lines, some of them a diagonal line. But as soon as you could see the dot, you could get there the quickest. You could make that straight line directly to that point. And that is the point. When you can see the vision, when you can see your goal, you can get there much quicker than when you don't know what you want to do. When you don't know, well, maybe I'll do something. Come up with something. And as soon as you do, and you start acting on it, you will get there. The other day, no, I can't say the other day. Well, it was the other day, but a year ago, I saw this woman jogging down the street. But her jog was like this. And she would stop, and she would touch her knees, and she would huff, and she would puff. And I'm looking at her, and all I could think about was, you go, girl. Because if she keeps going, she will reach her goal. So the other day I did see her. and she was running. And it was amazing that that's what she was doing. And it's because she was able to set a goal for herself and see it for herself. That is what's most important. I had to do the same thing with my son. So let me rewind the tape. When I came up with this idea for my son and I to make a pact, it was a pact because at the time, my son was like 8 years old. And I was looking at the graduation rates. And at that time, the graduation rate at the school that he was going to be going to was about 69.2%. That's it. So I'm like, my son, he could either be in that 69, 70%, or he could be in that 29, 30%. I didn't want it to be a guess. I needed it to be intentional. I had to figure out a way for him to be able to be successful and graduate from high school. And I had to stop and think about, what does this look like? How am I going to be able to get him there to a place where he could literally graduate on time and successful? So that's when I came up with a pact. And that pact was something that I had to also get involved with. I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to school, and I'm not going to stop until I have a PhD. But I need for you to follow me, because I need you to see firsthand what it is to be disciplined, dedicated, and determined. See, Dr. John Hope Franklin says that many of us have the ability to obtain several degrees, but few of us have the discipline to gain one. And that's the reason why so many people do not have their degrees. So I needed him to see firsthand what it was like to be disciplined, what it was like to be dedicated, what it was like to be determined. And by doing that, I wasn't just motivating my son, I was inspiring my son. Now let me tell you the difference between the two. See, when you motivate someone, then all you're doing is telling them what they can do, or you're telling them what you did. But when that feeling fades, when they no longer can see it, touch it, or think it, or feel it, the feeling fades and the motivation is gone. But when you inspire, it reaches down deep into the spirit, because you've included them in the story as well as you, so that they can see it, touch it, feel it, and it lasts so much longer. That is where I had to go. I had to make sure that this was something that he could really believe and he could achieve. See, when we are motivated, a lot of times it's learned patterns of behavior, and it has no choice in it. So that's the other key, that you have to make sure that there's choice. Not just for you, but for your scholars too, that they could see for themselves. And that is where the difference becomes, because when you don't have any choice in it, you just do learn patterns of behavior. But when you go through and you pause, then you have time to really think about it. What is the intention? What is the goal? And what is the vision? And all I could see is that one day, my son and I would be graduating from somewhere for something, because I wanted to pass on the baton of education. I wanted to be able to not just leave a legacy, I wanted to lead the legacy. So when you are leaving a legacy, you're either telling them what they can do, or you do it and you just say, this is what I left for you. But when you lead it, You're showing them firsthand. They're watching you, and they do it too. That is important. You have no idea how important that is, and the responsibility of modeling behavior. So there's times when there's going to be obstacles in the way. And those obstacles, when they're in the way, what you have to do is you've got to get focused. You have to be able, under whatever the circumstances is, you have to move it out of the way, and you've got to get focused. Let me share something with you that very few people have heard. 1982. That's when I graduated from high school. Now, something really interesting about my high school is that when I went, we were the largest graduating class of the time. And there were so many of us that when we first started at the high school, we could not fit our entire class plus all the 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders. There wasn't enough room. So what they did was they had our class go in the morning, and we got out at 11:15 every day. I thought that was cool. I was like, I can go back home and get in the bed. I'm tired, right? And then the rest of the school would go in the afternoon. But unfortunately, we did not have a focus. No one gave us a goal. And our parents were working. And they did not have the time to set something up so that we know what to do. So I struggled. And unfortunately, my class that had over 1,200 students ended up being one of the smallest graduating classes in that 4-year time. And those people who did not graduate were either on drugs, in jail, having babies, dead. And that's what happened. So how is it that I was able to get to that point, to literally graduate from high school? I had my parents finding a way to be in my ear. And when my father died, my mother was still in my ear, and she was explaining what we need to do. Now, when I graduated, I struggled, and some of you know this. I struggled with reading comprehension and writing sentences grammatically correct, and even being able to articulate my words. I just thought I was cool, right? It was a struggle. And by the time I made that pact with my son, I said, I am going to go to school. Here I was in my 30s, and I'm saying, I'm going to go to school, and I'm not going to stop until I have a PhD. But I need for you to follow me so that you can get to the Air Force Academy, because that was his dream. And when I started and I walked into the community college and I took the placement test, they said that I didn't score high enough to get into their lowest remedial courses. I'm like, what happened? What was it? Well, let me give you a little backstory, so a little bit more information. We come from poverty. We come from the struggle. And when they did the research, then, a lot of people didn't have time to read to their children and work with them. So children that were coming into school from poverty understood about 900 words because it was recycled language in the house, same words all the time. But children that came from middle class understood about 1,200 words because a lot of their parents were going to college. they had more language in the household. And then those that came from wealth understood about 2,100 words, because not only were they in colleges and all of this, but now they have discussions at the table and different people coming to the table. They were traveling, so they were building that. So when you enter into school, teachers operate by middle-class norms. So they come in with the expectation that you understand at least 1,200 words. So children like myself, who did not understand that many words, were already at a deficit of at least 300 words. And it compounds itself over time until by the time that you get in 3rd or 4th grade, you can't read at a 3rd or 4th grade level. And the struggle continues. You don't build critical thinking skills because you are living in the tyranny of the moment. You're living for the here and now. Everything is right now. So we don't have time to critically think. So that was a challenge too. So by the time I got ready to go to college, which, like I said, I was in my 30s, it was scary. And I'm going to tell you why it was scary. Because everybody who says you should go to college, you should go out here and do whatever, fill in the blank. It's scary. Because what they're talking about is that they want you to get on your future path. They want you to already know what your future is going to be. And that's not easy to do. The most familiar path is the first path, the beaten path. The beaten path is where you know your neighbors, your friends, you know where to get a hookup, you can go borrow a cup of sugar, whatever you got to do, right? You can get a babysitter over there. You know what to do in that space and place. And even though you might not want to be there, it is way more comfortable than getting on that second path. Now let me tell you about the second path. The second path is the path least traveled. This is the path where you enter into college, or you step out on your own, or you do something that your friends just don't do. And you start to feel alone because you don't see people out there that you know. You don't see people out there who's walked the life that you have, at least you don't think they have. And you look around you and it's like they know everything and I know nothing, and it is scary. Being on that path is very, very scary. That's what it was like when I stepped into college. Because when I decided to go there, the first thing I had to do was go sit with 7th and 8th graders. This was an alternative school right downtown here. And can you imagine being 34 years old, sitting with 7th and 8th graders? I was like, oh, I'll see you on the playground. I was done. But I get out there and I'm trying to build my skills, and you know who was helping me? Those 7th and 8th graders, so that I could get into college. Don't ever think you're so big that somebody smaller than you can't help you, because they can. You know what I'm saying, my sister, right? It is so true. And that's what I had to do. And I built up those skills to get into the community college. But when I got there, they had all these textbooks. I remember I had to read the book 1984. That book seemed like it was this big. I just wanted to go up to the teacher and say, go on and give me my F now, so we don't wait. I won't waste your time, you won't waste my time, because I'm not going to read that big old book. That's how it felt. But I had papers to write. I had books to read. And I'm trying to figure out why, what happened to me that I don't know? I felt small. And I would come home, and my mother would be the one that would read my books to me, my textbooks. And my sister would say, just tell me what you want me to type and I'll type it for you. And as she would type, then she would say, okay, I want you to type. And I would start out like this until after a while I could type. My mother, she She was a school teacher later in life. We ended up going to college together. But when she learned about love and logic, that's what it was back then. She learned about getting 2 pieces of PCV piping and put it together. And she told me to hold it to my ear and start reading. And when I would read like this, and I could hear the echo. I didn't realize that my problem was that the words were going out here, it wasn't coming back here. And that's what made the difference. They were there. Because when you are on that path least traveled, these are the people that you need. You need a whole success entourage. You need people that's going to care about you even when you don't care about yourself. My mother and my sister would lean over and let us stand on their shoulders. That's what it looked like. And at the same time, you have people who are in the future path already, who will reach in and pull you forward, who will share their information with you. And then they will not make you feel small because you don't know. They will help you and pull you up as long as you're willing to go and as long as you're willing to work hard. Every day, the 2 things that I do is I always reflect and reset. Reflect and reset every single time. And that's how I was able to build and move myself up and forward to get to that future story, that path. And that's when I then reach back and I start to pull forward those who want to come along. So me standing up here and sharing this information with you isn't because I just wanted to do a keynote. It's because I have spent 61 years building this craft. And why not share it with others? You want to know how to do it? I'm sharing it with you today. This is what it looks like. This is where you start looking at being disciplined, being dedicated, being determined. This isn't something that you just do. I'm just going to be disciplined, dedicated, and determined. No, it takes a lot of work. And I want to share a little secret with you. Now, don't tell nobody. There's a lot of y'all in here. But anyway, it's scary. There's going to be times you will be afraid. I say to you, my friend, have courage. You have to have courage to do this.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. Be a short time, and then I'll be back on the plane tomorrow morning, back to Ohio, get to work. But my mom just talked about three things. She talked about discipline, dedication, and determination. Dr. Geneva Gay has this quote that says, "We value that which is present and devalue that which is not." So those 3 things that my mom just talked about were always present when I was growing up. And it took that for me to really make those a part of my life. And I'll talk about how those have continued to be a part of my life throughout my time in high school growing up, my time in the military, and then also, and the values that I'm trying to instill in my son as well. So who in here remembers playing the game Follow the Leader? What about the kids? Any kids play Follow the Leader at school? Okay. What's your favorite thing to do? Do you like to be the leader or do you like to be the follower? Leader? Who likes being a follower? Okay, we got a couple. So I think when we hear follower, sometimes we think of that as a negative thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. I think there's something in all of us that wants to be a leader. But there's also something in us that wants to be a follower, to have people inspire us and to motivate us and to be led. And so when I think about leadership and followership, it's important to know that being a follower isn't necessarily a negative thing. And there is something inside of us that will want to do that. And it's important to know that you as a parent have a responsibility as a leader to understand that people will find ways to follow other people. So they can follow you as a good example, a positive role model, demonstrating these things, inspiring, or they can follow other people. And those other people could be teaching them different values. They can be teaching them, the things that go against the things that you would like to instill in them. And so you have to step up into that leadership role. So for me, this is important, not just for my family, but as a leader within the military. I joined the military for one reason, and that was to take care of people. Now, I didn't come up with that on my own. So part of our story that my mom did not talk about was when I was 8 years old. My father was on a mission in Vietnam. He was in the Air Force. He's a civil engineer, but he cross-trained to be a foreign area specialist so that he could go on this mission. So he was over in Vietnam, a part of a joint personnel accountability team. And what they did is they would recover the remains of people killed during previous wars in foreign lands. So he was in Vietnam recovering the remains of POWs and MIAs, prisoner of wars, people missing in action. Leading up to this mission, he called me to talk to me about what he was doing, and he was super excited about it. And he was super excited about the fact that he had just met President Bill Clinton, who had come to talk to the team about their mission and how important it was for the families back home to get the closure of bringing these people's remains back to the USA. But he told me that this mission was what it was all about for him. You see, he was a major as well, so I had pinned on the same rank as my father. When was that? 2024, almost 2 years ago. And he had a journey in the Air Force as a civil engineer, but what came down to him was taking care of people. And he explained that to me, and he explained that this was the mission of his life. So on April 7th, 2001, my father was unfortunately in a helicopter accident whilst on that mission. And he did pass away. So that became part of our story and part of the driving factors that pushed me towards the military, along with this pact that I had made with my mother. But it helped to ingrain in me what it was about, why it was important to me, not only to get there, but to actually succeed in getting there and doing well and continuing to serve. So while there, I had to find my purpose and what I was going to do, and it stuck with me that it's all about taking care of people. And so for me, leadership is incredibly important for the work that I do, because right now my job is all about people. Just a short 3 months ago, I was building spreadsheets and giving answers to people up at the Pentagon, and very important work, but it wasn't my thing. I care about people. And so in my current job, what I do is I take care of the people within my squadron. I make sure that they have the things that they need to do their job, and that they are taking care of themselves and their families and their fellow teammates. But it's also important that I instill the things that are important to me and inspire the younger airmen that I'm tasked with being in charge of. And part of that is continuing to pass on this message of having discipline, having dedication, and having determination. So it's not just about work for me. I also have to pass these things on to my son. And right now he's 18 months old. So I remember when he was first born, We would play music and I would move my arms and then he'd start moving his arms a little bit. So he's catching on a little bit. He can pick up things, but right now he's not going to understand discipline, dedication, and determination if I say it to him, right? So I have to show it to him. And my way of doing that, I think, is going to be in the way that I'm able to do that within the squadron that I'll be taking over in the next 6 months. For me to pass on that message of how important it is to take care of people through my actions, and then also showing that discipline, dedication, and determination through my actions in my work and my actions at home. So here's a little video about the extent of what my son can pick up. Let's see if I can. So anything that I do, he'll try to copy. So this was just the other morning, and it was so just the other morning we were doing this, and it's a very fun video. I love watching it. I was loving being there in the moment, but it's a very profound moment as well, because everything that he sees that I do, he's going to do. And so for me, as a parent now, which is weird to say, this is the first time I've talked about being a parent on stage, but being a parent, it's important to understand the responsibility that we have to demonstrate those things that we find important and that will help him to reach the goals that he wants to achieve. So my mom kind of brought up how she talked about us both being doctors, and I said, absolutely not. That is completely true. But the reason that I decided to go for a PhD was because of those long-term goals that I had. And it all comes back to taking care of people. So while I was at the academy, it was very difficult for me at some points between academics, athletics, if you can call it that. My friend D here was a basketball player, so he had the real athletics. I had intramural rugby and softball. But keeping up with that and all the military training was difficult. But it wasn't difficult to the point where I couldn't do it, because I had the discipline and the dedication and the determination. But I had to dig deep, and I had to find purpose and that vision and that goal of where I wanted to go. So while I was there, I had no idea what job I wanted to do, and I kind of felt lost. But once I talked to one of my professors, he asked, have you ever thought about coming back to teach at the academy? And I was like, I hadn't thought about it, but now that you say that, that's what I want to do. And as soon as I had that goal, everything became easier at the academy. It became easier for me to stay disciplined in my academics and to be dedicated to the military training that I was going to be having to go through. And so building on those things, using those things that were ingrained in me from a younger time, as well as developing my own purpose to continue in my time at the academy was what helped me to finally make that goal of graduating from the academy. And it also defines what I wanted to do with my career going forward. So after 5 years, I could have said, I've paid back the Air Force, it's time to go move on and do something else. But I always had in the back of my mind this thing about taking care of people. And for me, I got taken care of in the classroom. That's where I could escape the things that were hard at the academy. So I want to be that person for the cadets at the academy once I get back here in about 2.5 years, if everything goes to plan, hopefully. But that's what I want to do. And I want my son to see that I'm disciplined, dedicated, and determined in my pursuit of taking care of people. I don't care if he wants to have a PhD, any of these things. I want him to pursue the goals that he wants to pursue, but I want him to do it with discipline, dedication, and determination. So the only way for him to do that is for me to model that behavior for him, and not just the silly flapping arm thing. So for me, this showed up throughout my childhood, but it's important for me as a parent to understand that kids do remember. So I remember these things. I remember the late nights that my mom had to stay up to get whatever it took to get her work done in school. sitting with 7th and 8th graders at 34. That is a true story. And I was too young to call them out to the playground, but I could try. But I remember that time, and that, that was a very important message for me to say, you're never too good to do anything. You do what it takes to get where you need to go. Turning down hanging out with friends. So I know this happened, and this is something that sometimes I had to do throughout my time in high school and at the academy. But one particular story wasn't necessarily hanging out with friends, but it was even maybe missing out on something fun with family. So we took a trip. We drove down to Arizona, and we were all hanging out. My mom was working on her paper, but we were having a good time with my uncle and some family there. And Justin, myself, our cousin, and my friend that went along with us decided we're just going to take a trip to Vegas, just go hang out on the Strip. It's a short drive from Phoenix, so we decided we're going to do that. We're like, Mom, you ready to go? And she's like, I can't go. And she had to stick around to, I don't know what paper it was, or if it was, I don't know what it was, but I know that she was working towards whatever goal she was working towards, and she would have loved nothing more to go to Vegas with us. It was something that we would do together all the time when I was younger. And I know that she would have loved to go on that trip. But she had to show me that sometimes you have to get, not do some of the things that you want to do in order to get to the things that you want to get to. And then the last one, struggling with writing, another story. So she talked about having to struggle with her writing abilities, her reading comprehension and writing. So one particular story, I remember when she was called into an office to discuss a paper that she had written. And like any time else, if she had to go, I had to go with her. So I went along with her to this meeting. And you would think, having her young son there, that maybe they'd be a little bit nicer in the way that they phrase things. But they weren't particularly nice about the feedback that they were giving about the writing. And so I can't remember exactly what was said, but I know the feeling of wanting to protect and help my mom. So during this time of them telling her how poor this paper was and not the nicest way, I kind of got in between, and I just looked at my mom and I said, I'll help you. And I remember that moment and the feeling and that dedication that I had to my mom, and the dedication I had to helping her reach her goals as well. But I don't remember exactly how I helped. I'm hoping that just that act alone was help, but I don't remember exactly how I helped after that. But I know that feeling of wanting to reciprocate the love and the dedication that you showed to me, to you as well. So these 3 Ds: discipline, dedication, determination. These were things that I had to carry with me throughout high school. They were things that I had to really ingrain in myself in order to reach the goals that I wanted to reach, as far as getting into the schools that I wanted to get into. But one in particular, the dedication. I talked about how I made it part of my mission to want to be there to take care of people. And I thought the best way to do that was to attend the Air Force Academy and stay on the path towards the goals that I was trying to achieve. I had the opportunity to go to 8 different schools, I believe. And at any of those, I could have done ROTC, I could have gotten into the military after I went to those schools. But for me, I knew it was important to attend the Air Force Academy and make sure that I stayed committed, whether through force, maybe sometimes, or through being in an environment with some like-minded people to keep me on that path to reach the goals that I was trying to reach. So I carried those 3Ds throughout my time in high school to reach that goal, but I carried them into my time at the academy to get through that. I carried them into my master's program, which was admittedly a lot more fun than my PhD program, but I carried it into that as well and successfully completed that in 3 years. So over time, these have always been important to me, but I'm going to leave this on talking about the academy. So like I said, it wasn't always easy for me at the academy. At some points, I definitely could see myself leaving, but I had to remember to fall back on those 3Ds, the discipline, the dedication, the determination. So there's a video clip coming up. This is from a documentary that was made. So going into my basic training at the academy, a film crew approached us and said, we would like to do a documentary on being at the Air Force Academy, and to do that, we're going to follow you around for all of freshman year. So it sounded like a cool opportunity until you realize that it brings more attention on you during basic training, and people say things to you like, oh, you think you're special because you have a video camera following you. So they make things harder on you. But we had this film crew follow us around, and it's amazing to have these things documented. But there's just a video clip, a short video clip from this. It's called A Year in the Blue. You can see it on Amazon if you'd like, but just to show you a little bit of the time at the academy, and then also the stories of some other people that were there and their stories of why they decided to come to the academy. But also, these are people that had to tap into those same 3Ds, the discipline, the dedication, the determination to get through the academy as well.
I hope to be a pilot, that's my goal, but the main thing is to become an officer in the Air Force.
My dad was also in the military. He was a civil engineer, and he died when I was 8 in Vietnam, searching for the remains of POWs and MIAs.
You are now basic cadets. Grab all your stuff and get off my bus! Get off my bus! Left hand!
I came for my own reasons.
I'm sure we all had our own reasons.
It was 9/11. My father was in the Pentagon. He had a briefing in the side that got hit, not knowing for several hours whether my father was alive. I mean, so at least here, you're able to do something.
I want to fly this C-5 Galaxy, the biggest airplane the Air Force has.
My close friends were really proud of me. A couple were like, what are you thinking? Like, you don't seem the military type.
I'm trying to major in astroengineering, and I hope to do something very productive with that.
Management. They take what you've applied in school and you actually do a real life project like Astro. They actually build a satellite, send it into space, right?
I'm definitely interested in the history classes. I've been to an English class, and I love the English class.
Whether you're a pilot, whether you're a civil engineer, you are first and foremost, and it's serious, you're going to be defending, supporting the Constitution of the United States.
I want to be an officer. I want to serve my country.
Do not disappoint with who came before you! Try it again, basic! The answer is yes, sir. No, sir. No excuse, sir.
Being in high school and like being good at everything, like being in classes, and you're the one that's like tutoring people, you know what's going on, and here everyone's extremely smart. So you're back to being on like a level playing field with people.
My entire life.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah, you did it. You're awesome.
I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in March of 2008. Never thought I would end up at the Air Force Academy. Even though I've been through basic training, and I thought it really probably won't get harder than this. I won't be surprised if at the end of basic cadet training I say that this one takes the cake. This is the toughest. There's just so much to memorize. It's overwhelming.
Primary function.
The cadets built something that's going up. It's worth several $1 million. Once it launches, the cadets will actually fly the satellite from our ground station.
I made friends for life. I mean, they're my sisters. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that if I saw them 20 years from now, we would still be close without even talking. I can't believe what we've accomplished.
I can't believe the year's gone already.
Wow. Wow. You're a bad brother, boy. It's still very emotional to see that video because I know the road that we traveled to get there. I think about Charles, I think about Dee, and they both went through that. And, even Dee, so many of you probably have heard of his book, What If? And, to be an author and to do that work has been phenomenal. And the road that you've also traveled, you have your own story. And this is what it all looks like. It was the discipline, the dedication, the determination that prepared them to go to the Air Force Academy. When I dropped Charles off, he had to walk over on the other side, and then they got on the bus and they started yelling. And I like to lose my mind because I wanted to be Mama Bear and go get him, but I couldn't. But I had to remember one thing. He was ready. He was prepared. Are your children ready? Are they prepared? And what is it that you're doing to show them what it looks like to be prepared? That's important. Even to this day, I still have visions. I still have goals. And one of ours, Justin and ours, and mine, is something called Make It on the Wall. My thing doesn't want to work. Okay, thank you. So in our house, we have this wall downstairs. And in order to make it on the wall, you have to have a master's or higher. I know, right? It's just the way it is. Grandbaby, I will put all your little pictures and then your diplomas and degrees all on the mantelpiece. But you can't get on this wall till you have a master's. Charles has his doctorate and his master's. I have mine. His wife has her master's. My sister has hers. Justin has 2 masters. His mother has her master's. My mother has her master's. We all got them on there. Oh yeah, thank you. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's like set a goal. It's not impossible. What is it that you want to set for your family, for yourself, and get there and make it happen? That's what it looks like. So there is this work that you can do, and we're going to do an exercise with this. We have about 30 minutes left. And so I wanted to begin here, or I wanted to continue here, because there are some of you, I've heard some of your stories. I've seen what you've done with your children. I've seen how dedicated you've been. That's why you're here tonight. Keep it going. And so we're going to do this work together. We're going to start with you, where you can make your own pack. So years ago, Charles and I had a scholarship. It was called the Action Pack Challenge. And we also called it the Boys to Educated Men Challenge. And the one thing that was key in that was that it wasn't a goal that just the child was going to reach. It was a pact between a parent or a guardian and the child together. So this is what I want you to do on that same piece of paper or whatever. I want you to think about this. Name one thing that you are either working on or will work on that can be seen, practiced, and that clearly demonstrates your discipline, dedication, and determination for your child. So I want you to think about that. So years ago, there was a family, and they wanted to do a pact together. The father was challenged with alcohol, and this had been a big deal in his family. And he saw this pact, and he said, I'm going to go to AA, and I'm going to stop drinking. And his son said, and what I'm going to do is, as I watch him do that, when he goes, I'm going to enter into college. And lo and behold, when I was calling attendance the first day of class, he was on the roster. And his father stopped drinking. And that was a big deal. So that's like an example. For myself and for my son, I said, I'm going to go back to school, and I'm not going to stop until I have a PhD, but I need for you to follow me. My mother's pact was, I'm going to jump in now, and I'm going to catch up to you so that we can graduate together with our masters, and we did. So there's always these pacts that you can put together. So I just want you to take a moment. You can talk at your table with somebody if you want to brainstorm, but I want you to write down something that you are doing or will do to demonstrate these 3 Ds that your children can see. So go ahead and take a few minutes to write that down. Music, maestro. You have about another 20 seconds or so. All right, let's wrap that up for a second. Thank you. So before we go to the next slide, which is really going to be for the children, I just want to say my son remembered the time when, the teachers really came down on me with my paper. It infected me so much so that, number one, it took me years before I could speak about it. It was very emotional for me. The other is that was my first time going through a PhD program, and I dropped out, thinking I would never return. It did a lot of damage. But I remember my son stepping between us, and he's looking up at me, looking me dead in the eyes like, I don't want you to see nothing else, just me. And he said, I'll help you. And I didn't know how he would help me. But I'll tell you what he did do. He taught me how to formulate a paper with the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And this is how he did it. He took an Oreo cookie and he broke it in half. He said, Mom, this top part of the cookie, that's your introduction. He said the cream in the middle, that's all of, that's like the body. And then if you notice, this piece of cookie on the bottom, it looks like the top, is the conclusion that you're just going to summarize what you did at the top. He understood that I was a visual person. And I could understand it. It was just something so simple, and it helped. And that was the first of many things that he did for me. So you may not have remembered, but that's exactly what you did. And it was amazing. So let's move on. This is for the young people. And you can discuss this with your children. Name one thing you want to get better at or move towards that takes discipline, dedication, and determination. So I want you to help your children to come up with something, because this is where you can make that pact. It can start right now. What is that going to be? So take a few minutes to do that, and we'll go back into some music. All right, have about 19 seconds to go. All right. You can turn the music off and we'll forge forward. At the end of this, we'll have a little bit of time. Charles will join me on stage, and then we'll open it up for some Q&A, and we'll make sure the microphone gets passed around. So just be thinking if you have some questions or comments for us, okay? But together, I want you to think about those two things that were written down. And you have to think what discipline must exist in both goals for either one to move forward. What discipline has to be in both goals in order for it to move forward? So our shared discipline was make our education our #1 priority. So when Charles would go hang out with his friends or whatever, I used to lecture his friends. You make sure that Charles gets home on time. Don't let him get in trouble. And Charles, you better not get in trouble. Because we had this goal. No matter what, get your homework done. If you don't understand, go get help. Because that was the discipline that we had between our two goals. So that's what I want you to do, is think about what is the discipline between the two. And while you're thinking about that, take a moment to listen to this.
I know some of you believe it's you against the world. You want me to believe that everyone is against you? How about proving somebody right? How about all those people who did support you, who did encourage you, who loved you enough to tell you the truth, loved you enough to be honest with you? They drove you, they paid for you, they fed you, they clothed you. You cheered for them, they cheered for you. They helped you in practice, they picked you up, they took you home. Who was on your squad? Who do you want to prove right now? If you are always trying to prove someone wrong, instead of proving someone right, that can't get you enough fuel for the long haul.
You have got to realize that doing everything by yourself is the quickest path to burnout. Talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. Do you just want to win games, or do you want to win championships?
I hear you talking. I don't need anybody. I don't trust anybody. But when that is your mindset, when that is your mentality, anger is the motivation. Pain is the motivation. Then revenge is what's driving you. Revenge can't be what drives you. It's not a long-term play. Eventually, anger and revenge are proving someone wrong has its limits. Why? Because together we can.
But if you really want to go further, you've got to be willing to come out of isolation. Welcoming support is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. Yes, be strong, but also give yourself permission to be human. Trying to build your vision on your own places you at a disadvantage. Even when I know that I can grind harder, even when I know that I can stay up later and get it done by myself. Yeah, you may be better at it, but don't underestimate the power of teamwork. Talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. Did you hear that? Did you catch that? That is powerful.
You see, the isolation mindset is not healthy for you. This me against the world mindset is dangerous. In fact, I think this world is too busy for anyone to worry too much about you. This world is too selfish for people to be thinking too much about you. Why? Because they're thinking about themselves. But here is an idea. If you want more support, why not give it first?
Powerful. Absolutely powerful. You know, they said on there teamwork. It takes a team. I know that I stood up here and Charles stood up here and we shared with you what we did together, but it was more than just us. I mentioned Justin, I mentioned Dee, I mentioned my mom, I mentioned my sister, but I also need to mention Steve. Steve believed in me. He was willing to share whatever it is that I was trying to do, and I thank you for that. Deborah has been a rock for me, and for anyone who doesn't know, it was Deborah that actually gave me a vision to be the speaker I am today, because when I saw that that's what she was doing, I wanted nothing more than to be like her, and I thank you for that, Deborah. It was amazing. Absolutely. And Kat, oh my gosh, you know, Kat, she's much younger than me, and thank goodness, because she understands a lot of ways that I can get stuff done much quicker than my old-fashioned way. And she never has hesitated even once to say, no problem, Dr. Lewis, I'll help you. And like that, she does, even when she's busy, because it's only 4 of them, and it's all of you. So I thank you for that. Absolutely. But May 28th, 2014, 9 a.m. is the day that I could say that Charles and I did it. We did it. And that last year, was it last year? The year before last when you got your doctorate, it continued on. To be able to pass on that legacy, to continue to lead the legacy, and it will continue. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our story with you through our trials and tribulations, through our struggles and our triumphs, and that we will continue to move forward and onward. At this time, I'd love for Charles to come up, and we want to open this time up. We have about 15 good minutes to take any questions or comments that you have. Just raise your hand or whatever, and we'll make sure that the mic goes to you. Oh, right, fantastic. Dee, I'm going to be the runner. We got somebody over here. I know, right? Oh, there's one over there. Okay, so we've got somebody over here in the front. Thank you. Look at him. I was going to put him to work. Here she comes. Thank you for thinking of questions and comments. That's fantastic. This person right over here. Mm-hmm. Come on, into between the plates.
Hi.
You'll have to hold it really close.
Okay. I just wanted to comment that I was very moved by everything you said and your everything. It really just touched me, and I'm very grateful to be here. I come from Pueblo, and this is not mandatory for us, but I'm very honored to be here and to see, you know, the dream and all of it. And I just pray for you to have blessings and your grandson and everything. Everything was just so honorable, and it just something to look forward to and be proud of. And I have my 2 kids beside me, and it just made me have more goals and more dreams for them. And I'm touched. Thank you very much for the both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? It's hard to see. Oh, okay. There's some more. I just can't see them. You might have to stand up or something. There's somebody right there. And she has a mic right behind you.
Oh, thank you. If you could say one thing to your dad, what would you say?
If what?
If you could say one thing to your dad, what would you say?
Oh, wow.
I have not thought about that. I think I would just tell him the mission continues. That was the mission he was on, and that's what I plan to do for as long as they'll keep me in the Air Force, is take care of the people there that take care of the country. So it would just be the mission continues. Yeah.
Thank you. I was very touched as well. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm sorry. Over here. Hi.
Oh.
I was wondering if 2 things. I just want to make sure I understand the pact. The pact that you made with each other was, I'm getting my PhD and I'm not stopping I'm going back to school, not stopping until I have my PhD, and you have to follow me. This was the pact. Okay. Great. Okay. And then I wondered, this is not as heartfelt a question, but could you just list, like, where did you get your master's from? Just give us the credentials. I'm just curious. I think that'd be fun to list them off.
Both of us?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start. First of all, the pact was that I would go through school until I got my PhD, but I would get it done before he graduated from high school or by the time he graduated, and that his part of the pact is that he would get into the Air Force Academy. So I got my PhD 6 days before he graduated from high school, and then he went into the Air Force Academy. So that's what that pact was. So I am a graduate of Harrison School District 2. Yes. And then I went to Pikes Peak State College. And from there, I got my bachelor's and my master's and my doctorate at UCCS. So I have a degree in communication. My undergraduate is in communication and psychology. My master's is in communication. And then my PhD is in leadership research and policy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Come over this way.
So an important part of that pact was that my part of the pact was I would be accepted to the academy. Didn't necessarily mean I was going to go. So, but I did make that decision like I talked about earlier. But I went to the Colorado Springs School here in Springs for high school. And then from there, of course, the Air Force Academy for undergrad. And then I had the opportunity to go to school full time so that I could go back and teach. They let you go and do that full time as your job in the military, which is amazing. So I got to go watch a lot of Duke basketball, where I did my master's in business administration, and then went back to Duke for my PhD as well. I grew up a Duke basketball fan, so.
Duke? Yes.
Yeah. So got to go to all season tickets. I got season tickets for all 5 years. So, but yeah, so Duke for master's and PhD.
That's awesome. Thank you for that question. Yeah. Okay, over there. Oh, wonderful.
Okay. He said he has a question. He was a little, but he has a question.
I can't, thank you for having us and God bless you guys.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We have someone over here. And then we have something over here. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask a time with both of you, or especially your son. Was there a time that he thought that you were too hard on him, or he got rebellious because of peer pressure? What did you do? Tell me the truth.
There's absolutely times where I, as a kid, felt, there was a lot of pressure, and maybe she was being too hard on me, but that's part of it. That's teaching you part of that dedication, that discipline, and that determination. Any kid is gonna want to do things other kids are doing. They're gonna want to be having fun. They're gonna want to do all the things that kids do, but and when somebody tells you that that's not the way to do things, that's gonna feel like maybe that's too much. But in the big picture, and that's always been discussed, the big picture, you realize that it's not about being too hard on you. It's about showing you the right way to do things. And so, of course, it felt like, she could be tough on me, but it all was worth it in the end.
Okay.
And I'd like to add to that as well. Thank you. That's a great question, because parents, we drive this thin line between being the friend and being the parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was one time he brought his report card home and he got all A's and 1 B. And I said to him, man, you could have, if you just did just a little bit more, you could have got straight A's. And he was really upset. He was like, will I ever be good enough? And I had to step back and think about that, because there were times that I had to be strict at times, because I had to take my son into spaces and places that kids were not allowed to go, like into my classrooms. And I had to promise them that he was going to do what he was supposed to do and sit there and be quiet. And so it was times that I was very stern and strict on him. And I tried to adjust that. But we've always talked about it, always. And it's not always easy, but look at the results.
First off, I want to thank you so much for everything that you've shared. It's truly touched me and inspired me. Just you going to school and that humbling that you had to go through of you're not too good for anywhere. Right now I'm in my 3rd year. I go to a Bible college. It's my daughter up in Woodland Park. And it has been such a process when you touched on having to understand things as a team rather than, and the speech you just played. That has been one of the most difficult things to expand and understand that teams win championships. And I'm experiencing that right now while I'm in school, and it's just been incredible. So my question is, what led you to, as you first had that goal of getting your PhD, what led you to, you mentioned leadership and things like that, what led you to kind of go down that path, is what I wanted to ask.
It was a combination of, one, I had a voice, right? When you are weak in one area, then another area is strengthened. And I was stronger in speaking than I was in writing. And I knew that, and I noticed that people would pay attention. But at the same time, there were people who wanted to suppress that. So it forced, I was like, I'm going to bust out of this. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I knew that if I wanted us to get out of generational poverty, because we've been there, we had to do something that I never saw in my family. So it was scary. And there were things that were simple, but not easy. Simple, but not easy. So those are the things I did. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes.
First of all, I want to say thank you. So nice to finally meet your son in person. I heard your story, Dr. Regina, about like I'm trying to remember, 10 years ago. And I was just motivated by that. And I have admired you ever since, and I just love listening to you. One of the things that when I heard your speech about 10 years ago, it was like, I also wanted to go back to school. My girls were already in school. And I kind of saw I guess when you talk about the generational poverty, and I said, I want for my kids to see that doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what decisions you made. What matters is right now. What can I do to change our past? And because our past doesn't define us. And you were just such a great motivation. And yes, I went back to school. But the thing about it is because I had my own, I always wanted to be a mom, but I always wanted to earn a higher education. And it's hard when you have a family to take care of and you have a full-time job. And on top of that, you want to go to school, and you don't have to, but it's like you're one, because that's the only way to get you out of that, the thing that always kind of, like you are this generation when low-income families and all that. And I didn't want that because I came from all of that. And I didn't want that for my kids. And I think it helped me kind of show my kids, okay, I'm doing homework, you guys are also doing your homework. I'm doing this, you guys are also doing this. Yes, it wasn't easy. It was very stressful. But I guess what I want to learn from you guys, or if you can answer these questions, when your kids get older and they do things that, they're adults now, they're not under your roof, they're adults, and there's things that I don't like that you're making those decisions because I did that. How do you gracefully, because I see you guys have such a great, common goals, but I'm pretty sure, because no family is perfect, but how did you guys keep that while Dr. Regina had I don't like that you're doing that, but I love you, but I'm your mother and I have to tell you this.
So I immediately thought of my time when I was in school. So I went to school with the goal of becoming an astronaut. That's why I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. I wanted to be an astronaut. So I was going to go there. I was going to study aeronautical engineering. I was going to become a pilot, and I was going to be an astronaut. But that wasn't what was really calling me. This whole time, my mom thought I was going to be there studying aeronautical engineering. And the day I called to tell her that I was changing my major to management, she was less than thrilled. But we had a conversation about it, and I think that's the biggest thing, is just having the conversation. And so the conversation was, this is the goal, this is what you went to go do. And for me, it was like, I understand that, but this is my real goal. And I think in order to get there, I need to do well in school and do something that I enjoy doing. And this is, I think, going to set me up better to reach those bigger goals that I'm going for. So I think it's just about communication and that honest communication. So I don't think there's anything, from my perspective, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, that's not what I would do, or I've been in that situation. But it's also important to, I think, for the parent to not shut it down and to be willing to have that conversation instead of trying to dictate. But I think having the conversation is perfectly fine.
Yeah, and communication is important, and then also realizing that they are adults. Just recently, watching my son and his wife and their decision and choices on how they raised their son is different than how I raised Charles. And so we had to have a conversation about it for me to be able to understand why they are choosing to do the things that they're doing the way that they do it. And at the same time, me explaining to them why I raised Charles the way that I did, what were the circumstances then? So really looking at that and respecting one another for that. He is a man, he's a grown man, and he makes his own decisions. If I have to still step in as mom, then my job, I didn't do my job. I should be able to do hands off and he be able to run his own life, and that's what he's done. So I just want to say to you, Charles, it has always been an honor and a pleasure to raise you as my son, and that you are my son. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wait, here we go.
Your photo opportunity.
All right.
Good. All right, another round of applause for the Lewises. It's on. All right, families. This feeling a little inspired.
What a night. Let's give them another round of applause. What a night. Parents, you got to be intentional. You got to decide what's important, and you got to do the work. And when you do the work, your kids can see you doing the work, and then it's easier for them to do the work, even when it's hard, because they're seeing you work through things. So thank you all for being here with us tonight. As you know, this is the start of the spring semester, 2026, and we want to make sure that we start it off well, that we put some really good tools in your hands. Now, what you do with it is only up to you. You have a choice. We hope that you'll use this information to better yourselves, to better your families, and to leave that legacy that was up there. Whatever that is for you. Doesn't mean it's going to be like Dr. Lewis's, Dr. Charles, but it's going to be your legacy. What does that look like for you?
So I just also want to take a note for a second to observe. I am not a parent, yes, but she is a parent, and I just want to take a second to let all of you know, every single thing that she is asking you to do, that this program is built on, the requirements, the empowerment, all of it, she's done every single thing. That is who she is. She is not someone to ask someone to do something that she herself has not done. So when you're like, can I do it? Yes, you can. Everything, all the going in, being a part of the schools, PTOs, finding the time to be in activities and all of those things, she has done it. It can be done. And me and my sister are products of her empowerment, her engagement. I would not be where I am without her. This is a continuation of everything, the foundation that she set for our family. So parents, when we are asking you to do these things, when we are challenging you to do these things, it is not because we're just pulled it out of a hat or ChatGPT'd it and we're like, how do you be a good parent? No, she's taken her experience, her life lessons, all of the blood, sweat, and tears, and I was a difficult child. I still sometimes are. Still am. Unapologetically now. But it's because of who she is that we are, like me and my sister, are able to be the young women we've become. And when she's guiding you as parents, she's not just making it up. She did it. She knows how it works. So ask for help. If you are confused, if you have a question, ask the question. The only dumb question is one that's not asked. That's it. So reach out, Ask for help. You are not an island. No one is asking you to do this alone. No one is expecting you to just have it figured out. Students, give your parents grace. This is their first time living life as well. We are all still figuring it out. We all just kind of got thrown into adulting, and here we are. It's ghetto, but we're figuring it out. So give your parents grace. Understand that, yes, your life matters, your thoughts matter, your feelings matter, but you don't have all the answers. And because none of us ever really do, we're figuring it out along the way. Your parents are trying to do better than what they had. So understand that, respect it, and honor them. And parents, we honor you. So please utilize the resources that we have for you. And my TED Talk is done. Now it's door prize time.
Okay. In your welcome flyer, there was a session evaluation. Please complete that now, please.
Scan the QR code.
Scan the QR code.
Your phone
Complete the
doesn't work,
evaluation.
use your kid's
That's
phone.
important. You know we don't do door prizes until we know you've done the evaluations.
That one.
We got lots of door prizes.
A lot of door prizes.
A lot of fun door prizes. Dee, can you stand up? So we're gonna do his book first. He wrote a book called What If, and we appreciate him being here. He's going to be working with us on a project as well, and we really appreciate him becoming part of the Parents Challenge family.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 individuals who will win the What If book, and then we have a
Lego set
of the owl.
It's a Lego owl. You have to build it.
Okay, I'm going to do the last 4 numbers. 9431.
9431. All right, shout out. Come on down.
9431.
Okay, guys, we can clap. We clap for winners. Don't be sore losers.
Come on down. Good job.
And he signed the book too. So
Here, turn
it's
around
real
and take
special.
a picture. Take a picture with
Shout
the
out
camera.
to
9596.
9596.
9596.
Must be present to win. Yes, all right.
Come on down.
Come on
You got to
down.
come pick it up.
Come, Kiana. Run on down. Or send Ivy. Ivy will get it. Come on, Ivy. Come to the stage. Come get your Lego set. Yeah. She's coming.
All right.
You got to take a picture with him too, okay?
You got to take a picture.
All right, that's all yours. Awesome.
All right. The Big Fat Notebook series.
Oop.
9581.
9581.
The Big Fat
All right,
Notebook
come on
series.
down. Wait, that was not your ticket? Oh, what was it?
9581.
9581. 9581. Any takers? Going once, going twice. No, just standing up. Okay, we draw again.
9468.
9468. 9468.
9468.
Hey, shout out right over here. Come on
down.
Next.
We got 5 yoga mats. For those who want to exercise.
Or take a nap on the
take
ground.
a nap.
They work for both.
9379.
9375. Did I say that right?
9379.
9379. Hey.
9452. Come on up. 9452.
Going once. 9452.
9515.
9515.
Come on down.
Come on down if it's your ticket. Come on down.
9540.
9540.
9540. 9576.
9576.
Come on, Kat, you got to move faster than that.
It's like the dude with the
How many
dollar
we
and the
have
fish
left?
hook.
2 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that your ticket? Run, run. I'm giving you permission to run indoors.
You got a ticket? Yes? Okay.
All right.
Last one, 9597.
9597.
9597.
Okay.
Oh, we got it?
Coming.
Okay.
Sick. All right. You guys are very unenthusiastic, and it's
I know.
bumming me out.
The price is right.
Thank you. Thank you. Shout out Pueblo, guys. Come on.
Okay, the Tuttle Twins book set.
Yeah.
The Tuttle Twins book
Here you go.
set. 9558.
95.
95.
Okay, the Shakespeare stories, words. 9583. 9583. Okay.
Shakespeare?
No.
Shakespeare.
Don't protest too much. Okay, 9659. 9659. Okay, all right, right here in the front. Beautiful work.
Put it back in there. Put it back in there. All right, what else do we have? Okay, one more, and then we got a surprise. Classical Conversations history cards.
9605. 9605. All right, perfect.
All right.
And last one.
And now everybody's name is back in the bucket, and we have a bucket. So if you had gotten this bucket Sunday or Monday, you could have went to Cinemax, and you could have got a whole thing of popcorn.
Cinemark.
So next time they do it, you'll have a bucket.
Cinemark.
Okay?
Cinemark.
But in this bucket, we got a lot of little neat prizes. So it's a mystery bucket. So let's see who's going to win our mystery bucket. It's a lot in this bucket, so take your time when you open it, when you go through it. You don't want you to miss anything. But you at least know you can now go get popcorn. 9452. 9452.
Tough. Oh, okay. There we go. Shout out.
All right. Shout out. Melanie Winters.
All right, family as well.
Okay. One final thing. One announcement. If you didn't get a scarf, you want a scarf, we have them on the back table. You can take as many as you like. But if you don't want to take them tonight, we'll see you on Saturday. And you can get one on Saturday. Please come to National School Choice Week. There's going to be so much fun there. We got face painting, we got balloon artists, we've got aero sport, we've got food, we've got tons of swag and so forth. We're going to be giving away 3 laptops and 2 tablets. And so it's just going to be a fun day. So please come.
Also, please clear off your tables, okay? We want to thank Focus on the Family for hosting us. So
yes,
thank you to the Focus on the Family
thank
team.
you. And please throw away your trash because Molly the maid already left.
All right, later.
Thank you guys. Have a great evening.